So, as seen in the title of this video, this devlog is about remodeling, improving, and rigging a new player for the ping pong game. But before we start, I wanted to say that I thought about some names for the game, and after a while I got Paddle Battle. Alright, it's time to improve the player model as it kinda looks really bad. Obviously, the best way to accomplish this is to hop into Minecraft. I placed the old head, a pinch of salt, and voila, an improved look. No, I'm just kidding. I actually used Blender for this, and I actually think it looks pretty darn good. It's impressive to me because I'm actually a complete beginner in Blender, so I just sort of played around in the editor until I found something that worked. I also wanted to make a quick sketch of how I wanted the player to turn out in the end, because it's always a good idea to have an idea of your finished product to save time. So as you can see in this very eloquent and graceful portrait of what I want the player to look like, there are many characteristics seen. 1. I think the most noticeable one is the belly. I want it to be rather large, as I want the player to look cartoony and comical. 2. The hands. I want the hands to have fingers, which is going to be very hard to do as a beginner in Blender. 3. I want there to be a neck, and I also want it to be big and noticeable. Bigger than what's seen in this image, actually. And I think that's it. Alright, the player model speedrun starts in 3, 2, 1. I started by importing the player head I created and then started working on the neck. I wanted it to be small but noticeable. Then I started working on the chest. It would be a very important part of the player, so I had to get it right. Then I modeled the shoulders. The belly, it needed to be comical and cartoony. I then finished working on the arms, which I just copied onto the other side. Next, the legs. Lastly, the hands. I just placed them onto the arms and made sure they were symmetric, and that was it. Rigging. It's rigging. You see the oil rig and the ing? You know what, never mind. So I had no idea how to actually rig, so I had to find a good YouTube tutorial to actually get this done.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man.
To start off, I had to move the player into a T-pose, which looks terrifying. I also had to add bones for each finger, which is kinda cool to look at the end, but it was annoying to have to match up its exact rotation with the finger. I also decided to switch from octahedral to B-bone so that I could visually scale the bones to make it easier to see the IK rig. Then it was time to mirror the bones from the left to the right. It was really easy. All I had to do was select the left bones and click on Symmetrize, and it all worked. Lastly, the most nerve-wracking part was binding the bones to the mesh to actually make the mesh follow the bones. I didn't want to lose any progress, so I made sure to save a backup before doing it in case something goes wrong. On the contrary, everything worked out really good. The only problem is that it gets really laggy when I try to move the bones, and it gets even more laggier when I try to record it. Please let me know if there's anything I could do to fix this. Alright, cool. We made the cool player and we made the sick rig. That's awesome. Alright, so it looks like we're done. Thanks for watching Devlog 2, and I hope to see you in the next one. Adios.